ana aboaye Bayport nti anope mpacho usika no emfaso bebre na no ana beba so ede amao se utie ma anope ya mpacho Bayport adaroma ene ubetimi abeye investment a usika ene wo mfaso beba no bebre pa se utie mi wo 5,000 Ghana cedis and above anope ya mpacho bra na woni Bayport savings and loans emeye adwuma emomfa usika no ebeto ho na wamone obetena se ayen hyehyeye na afei interest esese ba usika ne so nyina no etimi aba ede amount anope over 50 branches across the nation and a Bayport ye adwuma ede free ho utie me a Bayport office bi e ben obi a no mpacho ubetimi abo eremo anope na wone womo akwa akokodi nkomo womo beje so pa de opese wo ye bia no ko na wone womo enkodi nkomo on kran ene ne mpache mu ampache obekọ kokomlemle ATTC school no enchen hwa na wone eye Bayport savings and loans edi nkomo edi free ho womo beje so na afenhyehyɛ bi e wo ho no watimi edi so pepepe ebeboa na ebema osika nso enyi edi amount anope for womo na woni womo ni nkomo on 0245 153283 0245 153283 and after 0263 007 922 0263 007 922 na woni Bayport savings and loans eni enkomo anope womo ebeje wo so pa na Obatampa prostate center for other romantic but prostate related challenges ni nyina no anope womo eyi ni nyina no e de free wo so oye bema 30 years and above ekone ni mono mpacho or challenges with urination anope Obatampa sabra womo behwe eyi ni nyina no e de free ho e de amount eno achi no oyobi a ya show catheter e wo bema mu a pacho ebrenu ni se ubeteme ene Obatampa prostate center for edin komo omo bejo so na omo yi ohaw ni nyina no e de free ho e de amount wa edura na dwo a wojo so tentem ojo nso aya na wunya atenkase ebia kam ni nyina no amba anope akwanya no enie se wonso obe correct sa niema ekoso within your body system enti bra Obatampa prostate center for asoye womo ebejo so na womo yi ni nyina no e de free ho amba pacho fifi prat last stop e wo kaso nyanya no main road no eso anope okohwa ofa wosen ene na pamfo no ebeje so na afi womotimi afyo e wo kwan sonko so oni omo eni enkomo on 0553 800678 0553 800678 na oni Obatampa prostate center for eni enkomo anope prostate last stop ha enti anope bra na woni womo enyankicha hodie womo ebeje so oposi ni na dro no imbustable mixture anope opese boost immune system na hodie sonko eba onipaduam na okoditi ayaredom ni nyina dia esese imboost nroi ana oma wonsa ekebi womo ebeje wo so ye pa pacho baby a wo be across the country herbal shops ahodo ebe wo ni nyina no odu ho a imboost nroi obenya bi ato akwako yisu eno echi no se wotie mi a obekọ pharmacies ahodo ni nyina no obenya bi ato eyisu imboost nroi boost immune system no ma ho na makwa na ekotia yare ni nyina no enya ahoden sonko e de ye omadwuma esese wo mo eye anope for imboost for on 0246 208496 0246 208496 na oni imbustable mixture eni enkomo anope womo ebeje wo so pa
Kessben 92.9 Asidan Kwa
Yes. Yes.
Maba.
Another visa.
Oh, me want to tell you, Kwame, and Kophobia some bonnet. Just a Ghana had one more dreams on Mrs. Sound. Who's a Ghana? One who's had the night, Nabu be Dean Sabio, Cobaby, and as almost any pay in the petty troop. Near Sassia, you soon the fake accounts. Your creative accounts are mano. Ah, you fake.
Ah, you for the
Facebook for no. And you know, be chow. But who has oh, me na me me mo adwuma me na me yewe me de nkrofo akwa brochire Ghana for money na ho and ban for say creative Facebook fake account na Kwame me papa me ama de nyina ya de nyina honorable Andy Okra or say okra. I know I said the aboni dia say Kessben how you can. A man for tia papa. And no ya man for create Facebook account amano.
Oh sir.
I tell some why you know, say CEO first commission and the pictures are to a first commission for pictures be Google actually.
Oh boys no more one yesterday.
Now only Mr. Kwame here. Unsa on the Facebook account no real one no.
Yeah.
Andy Okra. Wow.
Yeah.
No mo so dia no man no Andy Okra. Na mo dia no no am the doctor asi anim ansa na Okra na ba. The difference no pa chaw. So who say Andy Okra dot Okra no ba pa chaw nya the Facebook account.
Okay.
Obi aka bibia ignore me nko. Obi anya nka so mo obi adwuma nka so ofo obi adwuma. Fake for the juma of Facebook. To momo ni na ho.
Okay.
Nti ne dia no original one no Andy Okra. Ana akromfo no so dia ne Andy Okra. Difference o mu no.
Okay.
Nti omo nsa ne so Kwame. Obi bia so e bia na nyo no nko a ya bon krofo bebredin bebrebe sase a create sa we.
Omo create.
Nti dia de mam no tip of the mama no pe no mo hwe yie. Anopa bia be di bebre mo.
Okomo obi be yo say na between 1,500. Between 5,000. Me do be call national security. Me do be call immigration. Me do be call police. Obo scammers na.
Scammers na. Omo sister landing. For no omo na esa sister landing.
Omo smart.
Is all from so near dia. Oh bra, wa account no bo code no. Na ya o group no me say group ni din no.
Omo didi wuni.
Wuni ado na. Say what say be kan was one tra ha. Oko. Omo didi no ma 1003. O say dia na yan class akwan say wajimi wasi ampacho mini majimi pa.
Omo di bi e.
Omo di ya no.
So unfortunate.
Entempana no. O so omo ya no wa mu awo mo. Anu o so omo mfa mo nsamfo no nso ho. No di ho matam a. Ozo omo so ha ni ade na we na later o wie ya no. O so ko check in account na hwe so omo ayi a. O check ya na. Averi akwade fra no hey bra. Say music I was ai. Say all is wait me pa. Was ba twa me awe. Eti ba zo money na ho.
E dey kwa bra bedu.
Oh ni na ho. Ya ka se be ko so ntena akroko. Ozo nko na cause e na wura ho sempa o mu de di no.
Ozo so obozo obeyi o.
Ozo mbeyi o.
Ozo so obozo.
No me smart.
Obeyi.
Yes o me prison for but me nyini.
Obeyi.
Hey. Omo ya smart o. This to landing. Eso o mas jai ho no. Mo jai ho no kra ma je se.
Kra de momo no me jai ye how.
Sa. O but na dey down to me nyaye.
Oze.
O be dey jai ye.
O dey bi si am ni aka.
Sa. Ana kam de kakra tu mama we.
Dey bi me fa ba.
Azem ko yiba.
Fashion.
Sa.
Momo no nkrofo sene dodo.
Isa ho. To so anasa. Asa ibosum zisto.
Mejaye.
Enye izo. Edu mama ni na ho Kwame. Anopo mu ani na ho pa anya sa dia. Enye.
No problem. Very well. Kwame mama na say, why? Mama nko ahomani so na nko ye adwuma emra na endra. Yenua Voma wo echo appointment committee no any Mamene Orua Vitus Azim ending Komo Emra. He is an anti-corruption campaigner na Adope. Let me speak to him. Mr. Vitus Azim, if you can hear me, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Trust you are doing well.
I'm doing well.
Very well. So once again, thank you very much for your time with us. We are grateful you joined us this morning. But first of all, yesterday, Oliver Vomawo appeared before the appointment committee to basically substantiate some level of allegations made against the appointment committee. It turned out that, there was no evidence to buttress whichever claims he made. Now, we've had the opportunity of listening to former members of the same committee, who have done some level of work in time past. Let me hear you and then your views as well on this particular development and as to how we can curb some of these allegations, plus the many more perceptions that Ghanaians are holding about the work of the committee.
Well, you see, what he said was just what is a general perception out there. Many people have that perception, although nobody has voiced it out until he did. But Parliament, they say, is an august body. And when you put something like that on Facebook, it could be interpreted to mean that you want to embarrass the House. And so I think that's why they invited him to appear and provide evidence. But you see,
Kessben.
corruption in Ghana, when it comes to one aspect of it, bribery, is that the giver and the receiver are both guilty. So it's not easy to provide evidence of corruption.
Okay.
If neither of them reported at the time of the incident and when we read. So, Vamoro couldn't have given any hard evidence because none of the key players, if it happened, would have been willing to come forward and say, yes, I was the one who offered the gift. And for the one who received the gift card, I say, yes, I received the gift. Besides, in the same way, bribery is sometimes given through agents. So even if some money was passed through an agent to the vetting committee member or members, you can still not pinpoint any of them accusing the person of having taken the money. He would definitely deny. So it was a difficult task for Vamo. And I think the best way out was to say you are sorry. But like the vetting committee said, if he had gone to any of the people listed, our institution listed under the Whistleblower Act, and made the report, then it could have been investigated by the appropriate institution under that law. Unfortunately, he didn't do that. You see, but it's not just him alone. Many people have discussed this on Facebook. And it's not just the ninth parliament that we are talking about. For a long time, this perception is out there.
But
some may not have any grounds.
Yes, the question will also be that, how do we substantiate some of these claims? Generally, if these are the perceptions of Ghanaians, and the fact that people will not have the real hard evidence to buttress whichever claims they make, then forever the corruption tag is still going to remain like this, because until you are able to prove with, hard documented evidence, people will always go through these processes and then at the end of the day go scot-free because it will still remain a perception.
Yeah, so I've said that you blow the whistle to an appropriate person.
Kessben.
And then that person will refer the matter to an appropriate institution to investigate. If that person is investigating, you can have, for example, witnesses being compelled to appear and testify on oath. Then the truth will come out. Otherwise, if you are a regional coordinating director, in the first place, you are a public servant who has sworn an oath of secrecy. So even if you were asked to pay monies to the committee, you will not be bold enough to come forward and say, yes, I paid the money to this particular person.
But
that's the problem.
Yes, in your line of duty, have you ever come across any of such situations where, we make the allegations, we blow the whistle to the appropriate institutions for further investigations, and then by their own assurances, they've gone through or conducted the investigation and then come out with a substantive report, giving us the details of whether or not, those allegations were true. Now, the question again will remain, we've had several instances in this country where even upon approval of MMDCs, we are told that such candidates pay monies to assembly members before they endorse them. Like was last 4 years or a few years ago, you heard some of such nominees, who claimed they paid certain amount. And even up to today, the Office of the Special Prosecutor has not been able to give us that adequate report that will allow the entire nation to know whether or not, there was some level of truth in those perceptions. So, how do we deal with some of these things substantially, knowing very well that presumably it occurs, I mean, on a regular basis.
It's very difficult to deal with it substantially because both parties are involved or are affected.
Kessben.
For example, the vetting committee is made up of members from both parties. Each of the committees in Parliament are made up of people from the two separate parties. And so, even if it involves one party at a time, they may not be ready to pursue it. And as I said, and I'll say again, you report to the appropriate institution or person listed under the Whistleblower Act. Then they can start an investigation. They can compel witnesses to appear and swear on oath before they provide evidence. That's the only way I think we can.
But generally, were you impressed with the performance of the committee and the manner in which they handled Vomao yesterday?
See, my problem is the committee was the accused person. And they constituted themselves into a court of law to investigate it, or is it to prosecute him?
Or an allegation concerning the same committee.
Yes.
So more or less they were the same judges in their own court.
Yeah, that was inappropriate. But Parliament has been doing this since, holding people before the Privileged Committee of Parliament, people who are not parliamentarians. And that is not fair. There's no fair play in it, and they need to change. If they want to actually cleanse their image of such allegations in the future, they need to always refer the matter to an appropriate body, independent of that of Parliament or at least the committee to investigate.
Now, on the other hand, before I just wrap up with you, the former chairman to the same committee, I mean the appointment committee, former member of Parliament for Bekwai and former Deputy First Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei-Wusu, last night is on record to have said that to a far extent, nobody can induce the appointment committee in terms of how they do their work. But in previous years, what the practice has been is the fact that, I mean, the chief of staff used to give them some amount of money after they have done their work as a committee. Now, a lot of people are raising concerns as to why the committee will be remunerated after a work done by the chief of staff. That should not be the normal practice. So, to a far extent, that is some level of inducement on the part of the chief of staff and then on the part of the committee. And this is coming from a former chairperson of that same committee who have been, allegedly claimed that they take bribes to approve some of these nominees who appear before them. Now, how do you respond to this assertion? Because he spoke on PM Express last night on Joy News.
Yes, see, that's why I've said that. The impression is out there. And if the chief of staff can do that, then it's more or less institutionalizing that practice. Because that's the work of parliamentarians. We've elected them to sit there and perform certain duties spelled out in the Constitution. And vetting nominees of the president are part of that work. If there's a need to pay the overtime, it has to be Parliament.
Okay.
From their budget and not from the chief of staff. You see, and especially when at the end of the day, virtually every nominee scales through. Even with the case of the last vetting, when certain people were tagged and their vetting held on to, later on they all came and they were all allowed.
Yes.
So why won't people just believe and accuse the government of being complicit in this matter?
But should that really be the practice where you have a chief of staff donating to this particular committee upon the approval of the nominees?
But that's what I've just said. If the chief of staff does that, he or she is institutionalizing this practice, which is corruption.
Okay.
What is the reason for paying that money? For doing a good job, approving all his president's ministers. Is that why? Then there's no point to have a vetting committee. Parliament should just sit on the floor of the house and say, oh, we've passed all of them. It's from the president, especially when this government has a good majority in Parliament. But you still go through all this, and yet people find it necessary to influence. You know, there was one case where I don't remember the year, when it was alleged that monies were given to the committee by, some said a businessman, some said a foreigner, and that kind of thing.
Yes, I remember.
The investigators saw some of the parliamentarians came out to testify, but it ended nowhere. So how can we? Parliament has oversight responsibility over the executive. So if the executive is engaged in something that is untoward, that can be described as corruption or at least bribery, then how are they able to monitor other people?
Very well.
And to pass effective laws to protect the public purse? So definitely it's wrong.
Very well. Mr. Azim, I'm grateful for your time this morning. Once again, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. That is Vitus Azim, anti-corruption campaigner, speaking to us. And Oliver Vomawo appeared before the appointment committee. The outcome of it, and common. But Ura Joseph was to say, I mean, in time past, nobody comes to pay bribes to the committee and its members. But as former chairperson of the committee, in time past, I had the AC and say, one more year, chief of staff, etime ebro omusika na afe members ningina no etime ache. Now, as to whether or not, say, some level of inducement, the former auditor general has said that is bribery. I mean, Yetuaoka as a member of parliament on monthly basis. Again, parliament, the budget, or this supported committees, ejuma one more a year. Now, is it budgeted for, say, chief of staff, ebetimi afasika, the office of the president, Ediabre committee members, say, bonye moye wajuma ewi. I mean, does it really answer the reason why Obia Nwa appear before the appointment committee? Yakasi Wade, only competent for the position he's been nominated for. Now, all the time, what we have seen in time past and by practice, to a far extent, and it's a ubi obeko hobiano, whether the questions are whatever, I mean, they all get approved at the end of the day. Baby or more so mokoshe ye jumano na ya momo akwa koshe akwa juma. 3 minutes after 8, mabeja fono atinase anopei mame Emma lawyer kwesi kwatin action na memana kwaba former spokesperson to the Minister of Education. Because imagine, na bomb to say,
yes, you need to know so.
Erade de Yamquache, Yanso Yahoyepa, because he's a member of the New Patriotic Party, and then he does communication for the party. And to Adope Watanase. Na Mema Ali Ibrahim of the NDC actually. Na Mema Nakwaba. Ali, good morning, everything.
Good morning, many of them. I'm
Erade Adom. O microphone the brow and him
Kakra. Okay, say
yeah. Party motor saying the Biabo called there.
Said the Wawa be a court taught a Camia quest, Obiania Juo, Ghana Memoha, because of say Yana Banfufro. President John Dramani Mahama approval rating is so high, Namin Hununisa. But Camia quest, especially Mebuno, a Mebuno Duana and RGS, Yana President Bia, Sabi, or Babe Mac. Presidents na ayakono we MPP for communicators the do na ebo John Dramani Mahama baso said ye wa shasi especially appointment here kosoi oma mebunu no opportunity no amana ya na je bebre mejiri ye say menu abe ma kwase kwatin eti hen so on one reservation about one or two things but said ye abanya san a shasi no with the appointment said the mambo no koso ni te the nyoma essay koso no bibi akire wo say President John Dramani Mahama 4 years ya yadi amano nya de a obe waste no on waste no said ye hunu mre bi yadi 8 years e she bi nsa a se bi mpredua sa ekoye time waste ye hunu bi faso bia ama friso ama eno nte na Ghana for ekoto santene unprecedented in the annal histories of this country omotimi echire omo bibi kakre bi. I mean, such an embarrassing defeat. Me now say about Abaye Yebewin, but I didn't know say the margin gap ye hunu ye sa de beko. So I was so surprised. Say, hey, Ghana for hu na ba omiane nam no okoha no omo bogene so no omo bogene so ti na de na omo dwere nyina e wo mutrim, especially Ashanti region. Me Ashanti region na me share communication ase ansa na me bank line. Asante for onhu bomia kwa Asante ma especially ko manse kageti ya behwe mai so mo prapra na so mo bogene so sana de omo dwene nyina ehihyo mutrim sana omo dwene se papa ya wa na manitrima ye ne de ni a kire ne sampa economy na de share ne nsa no as head of economic management team no wantimi amboa emmanuel ankoso ya di economy nyina ehye wonsama president Akufo-Addo na ba monte be ka say me eba economic issues amenya de timi the economy ye wa Ghana nyina ehye wonsa as head of economic management team dollar na mo beto no 4 cities no bomodia na twena enko 1 city 20 pesos na say 1 city be na ba me free so na ekọ 17 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
18 cities kwa na be the edges are so hu enti with such an economic management na wo susu say Ghana for seven preduasa ye nwene enti yen sanfa a presidency ne mount na kokum ye preko.
Okay. Well, Ali, best about so be 6 after 8. This is Kessben. Pacho sharing so mami sir. Your numbers in 0550567 0550567 and no any numbers are no pay. Yeah, they juma on WhatsApp and SMS. And obetimi the messages no about we are live on Facebook on Kessben TV and Kessben FM 92.9 handles ni me no nyina no juma anopay. But I'll begin with Kwesi Kwachen Council because anopay said kase I mean from last week there's been a lot of controversies about the total number of beneficiaries from September 2017 free SHS no in fact the padodo a enya so mfaso ana nkwala dodo enya so mfaso omo a go through school ewie any figures now okwa enope graphic and so by quite an interesting number but remember question so he has worked with the ministry na yen clarify niamba no na membisa no kwesi match ma mention in free so in free ho did bebre aba figures you sir
eminya me da se ma menchia biona menua ale mana kwaba ebize bini ni nsia na menua obi ato abawie na anopa no pa wezo ai musese mu aban mu munya ya djuma maye na muso munya madjuma sese menua ale nkoma wodi na so mu da so opposition ese 2 million wonsemu ana ye ba enche sisi a de na mpesa djuma maye no and now no last week na meeting of video so ka say when you goodwill no
exactly
ti nyina you support no na mo de empenifo se banche nya eja na be dey e be kire it is a mo se nya abaya to for public and to the 9 times 92 96 2000 2004 2008 2012 2016 2024 and to 9 times party manko yenye sasa after 8 years bi and the news so say 8 years ago bra 2 mu no ense ben yanka o ka say asofo no bi kura o mam ho mo ka say onu offend say mo be 32 years ansa na maba ebi kura ka say president John Maakye ni president da enti sese no mo mi focus na mo djuma ne mo promises a mo ahye bon no e de obesi sebio
mo da ya
what I say what I say
no that for me you are right
na ye chen munyam ne amwe no gwase ofa ho sese ye ti we say da from tip anti di say de mo na ye de ye pipe water mo chi say mo nsema maka nyina ne ye beteke no one by one ahwese na committees na so ya doso mo hwe na munya djuma no mama mfa committee so because you see mo wa Ghana ha anti say free SHS double track ho asema munim the state of education in Ghana mo baba mu pay ana munim the ekwoso so ana mo promises am be double track ayede every ho enwane ho asem no you need the state ana mo promises am be ma nkwara mo beje adwana my headmasters on the economy promises am make you on the economy nyina you need the state of the economy one any variables macroeconomic indicators forest no money ade one any enti ne mabaro the can say committees no monte so na monya adwuma.
Oh, committees be no matete o monte so.
Oh, say almost on better unka so matter committee almost on be on economic forum one.
Oh, but say no it's a promise within the first 120.
Say over there.
Say I mean they will put a team together to organize that national
and review let me say review
the constitution.
Review. And you have to say committees also. Committees mo hwe so na mo.
But say adwuma ya no mo dey na.
Oh, mini problem but
me say constitutional review dey.
Me say you made a promise. And based on the promise in the nipa here dey etrabama. Me ba me yewe. Me say who here review ansana what are the reconnaissance. Then the promise you promise in a vacuum. Promise I promise na nim dey okay but I mean
so which of the committees are you referring to?
Oh, no me say almost almost committee a ebehwe ECG crowd privatization committee.
Omo ate dada nye
Ewurade Yesu.
Enye so of no mo bet.
Na ba ko so na ko mo say ba ko to mo say Ghana water and so mo hwe normal privatize after ECG and no so committee beba.
Ghana water.
Oh no papa no abeka. Na economic one when forum and the Haruna so obeba hwe auditing and it's ankoma e be no so obepe obedwoku amahwe wan hwe ya ho me say first ya ne be so ni ati committees sa because where another sabio yehu omoda omoda enya de foforo ana enya oka na MPP ya 20 MPP no hwe ya gitum adwobro ebuo kwa so ahombrase kwa so kasade kwa so ya manfo asabi eburu wonu hu se party ne nhihye anasa ban na nhyehyɛ bi wɔ hɔ a ɛso kyema ɛno nti no abufo kakra wɔ hɔ a obi okra so ane bia otie na damfo asɛm obi osukwa no onim sɛ agyina kɔ no obi okra na ntimi ndɛs ma hwɛ kwa kɔwini na mo hwɛ de ekɔ nyinaa abato e 2 year party for person mo ka asɛm yɛ de ɛkyerɛ yate asopam ebetie ne bo kwa so ayɛ de next time no yɛsiesie yɛ hu yi na ɛho ayakɔ no na emu mu na mo hwɛ mo hu yi
asɛ committees na dɔso
asɛ mumu na ase mo wini ababi bra about voters register no voters register na increase by 1.87 million and it is a Ghana for endorse do asem do papa o de kasa 1.87 million. These are new people who went to register ordinarily. You expect them to vote because be additional register be akwaka ho be ayo be o na just so ye dey oto aba wo enyam 1 million. This vote cost 7 million. Votes are appreciated from 2020 by was only 100,000. Yeni votes to take by 1.7 million, which presuppose to say Ghana for and also pass or more power memo do say omo GDA oma and we are expecting about 7 million plus. Even what the new voters registrants no account and call for far can you should be getting close to 9 million. Amanasao votes 2020 compare appreciated just around 100,000. As a mutimu yamudadodo. And I know I can be chair mere Arab is bawa almost so 7 million. Some say mutimu yamudadodo. No, ni edu ho ni yesams na nya lesson ba ko pe no wini out of 9 lessons I had to nya ba ko no wini ase mo carry mo
wo mo atwe mo more than 1 million votes.
Oh, na say be ofu dia na
2016 mo si mo nya 1 million we ni 1.5 1.6
speaker na say ofu dia
vote nti mo atwe mo I mean
speaker me say ofu dia speaker me say ofu dia na ofi osi bokwa so wasi what you so wasi election ni say dey say dispute na mo we say wo mo nto mo boas trimuda na ya doso enu boy ya call NYE omfense wa basintele YE onu se be na contest you say
na woka no YE
NYE Osman Arga basintele de on se onu mene na contest you say Argentina no asem ka no se be se pane kunina haba wakwa eminua nti enoma ne bi wo ha na se bi so
when you student politics ni bi
metiase na wo se so wo ya ba mu a memi tuwe se mesen no but Sentale say Sentale be 2 years but Sentale nya say 29 say 30 enti sebio no mani bi ho a sebio ede ya woko nanim no no trimudani kakra o so bete but aside that there o emi nua sebio nyankopon bi kwa ede ama be dem babo be ede e beta na chi so when am don dey business no ba ko yi Osman Yarege nipa wo kwa dwuma yi ba ko fo wo kwa dwuma no ye de lanku sese ko be 11 am say modest government na mo ntomo bo ase me kwa kan no bi atro say enye abanka na so yate. Well, I mean, sometimes it's the optics. Optics na President Mahama about so bia no because okay so for 60 ministers. If you look at how things are going, I'm power to me the except to say akwa say what the bankum the man no the fund 60 ministers so be na presidential staff is better. Send your omo DV.
Oh, that presidential staff is not.
Oh, the link government so we. Link government so we. One so on we in the government. One constitution the government. You be feed the be June one. And who said the number of government. But link government, you know, what the bankum the man no dignify the age. And in any case, link government does not necessarily ensure efficiency. And the complaints na mo money about radio so. Say mo mi take mo poster no. Near mumu putu wo mutos. Hey, and no kwatara ha. Ana kufu adne say so. Wo so mo te oboase ha na no yama kotutu tu abom. Ayi na no rest of some family. Mo kra mo beka bi galam say ni ade enkoso. So, a man no problem no. Hey, Eddie. A member no Eddie. Maybe you Ministry of Education. I had the opportunity to work there just for 3 years. Hey, and so many be why ye can a bedroom maybe one I just a chop by the ebem. The do no passa. Many one come to me say be gumiti. Makacho said the problems and the challenges confronting us as a state, you know, systemic.
And the expectations are too high.
Too high, right?
In solving those challenges.
Yes, my member example. Who ye NDC sympathizer, right? What we MP be what for 3 terms. First 2 terms, you know. Why your campaign 8 years?
Now opposition.
Now opposition we in that race. They say what about 10 term. Oba your president so offer 60 appointees. 60 appointees, you know. Were you regional ministers I had the FM 16 quote me boy. Abeka 44. 44 no. So for 60% to cry free parliamentar. I say 26. Me boy. Now intinipa 26 out of 183. Who can say if you do problem
so you select the best of the best.
And I'm just say I'm on your semi area and I'm on your semi say you I mean even in doing good we do good to look good. There's always an interest. What I say make us say the context is will be where you 8 years. No say you or pe baby I dey ase. I'm on your say you kwen nim. Abrabo ye mon kwen nim. You know what banner out of 183 per 26. Okay independence for an answer back out. Why ali to one appointment ni bi. Ayi papa titi kata no so ka de Kevin titi kata no wo mo yina bo hopum me se papa pa me ne ye campaign na sabre me ne ye ko radio no okura sabre na me se no ho mfa ne kakra mo sabre na me ne Richard wa Accra FM ne ade no okura ofene say okura walking stick but say there has not been a single day akwa radio so me started communication bu equality no mu ne ade ko de ka fa me ebu akwa emu nya ko tim ka se kwase ga me se wo po onko fo mefi was oh chia ya baba e che na minya Ministry of Education ko ye was oh chia we your post wo dey here dey be position wo dey here dey be position na titi kata no da form team
titi enya appointment ground onya appointment but babies and he was here maybe say
me so mo free no
was no business
obey the business obey the eje no pemfa what the case business no business na say ke wa ba mu kwa business that the business dey usika na dey me ba zoom lie to we o hia say baba ababa so the business me so appointment no mo mfa man ton titi ayemo me afekura de na asem kwa asem me ho ye mobokura mpese me kemma no we dey be sere President Mahama titi wonye mbusuani me fra sante atim titi me so enkran ni me boa akwa na bre filita mo ko MP ni ade ni mu yare ni ade nyina me se ne titi wa ye bobo enu na ade ese mo dwe ho ali wutu o mama ade
say ye ka say so bi
mama catch direct and ye hu mama catch direct say obi ani ho a o sorry obi bi ya obemo better TV so ni radio so mako na aduane se wanu ma o de
na de o party ba be ma no ejai communicate
what say
o party ba be ma we ejai communicate
we minister Asado Power Committee ali tu
ba say o kura na ye adwuma ba se
na se me ma na adwuma de se mo bro wa ye party wa be ma party ni abamu na papa me na me catch direct say and me mu de hu ni bio tira betra he wonya hwe me say akomo de se me am sada titi aye hey me see titi na mama catch titi kata no Kevin kata no acha wa wita na bojo betwa ni nyina
na go si na de titi kata no ayo dey
na me dey
no be wo kra de se wo ba
oh mama if you na me address it free position but I mean the fundamental point that I'm making is that they should manage their expectations. They should really manage their expectations because say even within them now people are not satisfied and people will not be satisfied and that is a reality and I idea better to be also be a 24-hour economy because you yourself you don't even believe in that policy. Adwuma also be 24 economy di nyuma be memu be run shift 3 times me boa. Oko civil service be run shift 3 times. Oko hospital be run shift 3 times. And this are na 24 economy mo
Yeah.
Wo GD o 24 economy ma. Oba ko je 2M express se wo kwajo mo basis. Oba ko je ECG se wo pam workers e firo. Oba ko GR Magdan one one private company adan salt. Oba ko akọ se wo pam wo mo. Who need GD of 24 economy? And that is a problem I ever bought by also mo no moka. Where idea ever tunko for we no. Me say Ghana for me say aba no it me too more than 1.7 million difference. Me na make me say man we year 2024 more than 2.5 million the beko position. Now mami fru na me address a subsequent issue on Haruna Idusu SMO kan. And I think say mo fidie ni second platform I'm breaking the news and I may make it that clarification. Now, and they say, so because figures, free SHS figures, and yet 5.7 million, the Pakoloni atro, and yet 5.7 million.
Okay.
And the Ministry of Education, as Ministry of Education, Bram Yedmo, you in fact figure beyond trouble 5.7 million.
Okay.
And free SHS by it increased access. But every year, you have an average of about 400,000 students and no money kwenya yede echo. We had the cumulative value for 2017 BC na now October yomko e 5.7 million. But we wish I say didn't 5.7 million about. Now speaker, Ministry of Finance, one more as part of their financial budgeting approach and asset technique, one more calculate for the release of money the Ministry of Education. The one say so mobile first year, speaker say who first year.
Yes.
First year no for budgetary purposes you will release amount. So we are beneficiary wo. Second year, we start from 2 a. Yes I release sika de amount the show. Third year say release sika de amount the show. And you share the first time some number see a found no expression in any national document. The 2024 budget media budget review in the 2024 budget statement because for Ministry of Finance, one more budgeting for the accounting and budgetary purposes on there. One more to each person be as beneficiary 3 times.
Okay.
Because year be no will this come or treat you as a beneficiary. And to
because already know what system nim.
What system nim.
Okay.
And the Ministry of Finance be who be also a beneficiary like 3 times. That is what the cumulative effect gave us the 5.7 million. Now the question say, one more the year more budget no.
Yeah.
And the same number figure no mu say no. Fortunately and unfortunately, found expression in President's State of Nation address. But you see, say I try to know be there. Ministry of Education, oko your website, oko your data, oko your official correspondence be in far 5.7 million be because 5.7 million how would we be able to account for it? Because every year in year out enrollment no and out there yeah akula be ewura first year. Your fan say no ewura first year kopim so obe yo enipa baako. Because here the numbers in the year kind. Name do this care bad or more sika first year or kind so more sika. Second year or more sika or kind. Third year or kind or more sika. So the right figures using the yearly enrollment data no 3.5 million. It's never 5.7. But the 5.7 million was the technique and the budgetary technique that Ministry of Finance uses. The calculation. Which fortunately and unfortunately found expression in the president's speech. And we did so much the
president's speech, you know, why not throw ya
no, that's what I'm saying. Even if they quote it, and you're wrong.
Okay.
But what the president's speech should have done,
no,
should have clarified it.
Exactly.
Clarify. Yeah, clarify because I say you can't 5.7 million as nominal figures.
Okay.
But the nominal figures. And then I mean no you're doing. Nipa or year president's speech should have clarified said the 5.7 million no. Guess what state even the source, which is the Ministry of Finance, one more budgetary statement in 2024 and the media budget review policy statement. So that everybody can have a better appreciation saying a tier. But the over year enrollment data there 3.5 million. That is the data. But for me, I mean, granted, without even admit, of course, I don't want to impugn any ill motive. Say be big can for political expedience and whatever. I mean, for me, whether or not to say A, B, I mean, the clarification has been brought. What is most important? What is most important? They say, one, we all agree on principle, say, free SHS is a good policy. And access is very key. And the access, for for instance yenye policies and sense say yeah it will continue to increase as no be Kubi. But unfortunately look at policy in your one policy or modern banom rather will cut access to certain category of students into free SHS now say and 3.5
the cancellation of double track now.
Yes, double track is going to be very big.
But there's also a system they will put in place. One country is building more infrastructure.
Mamin Kancho, so Mamin Chawa, just a brief way. You can't double track out. First of all, no, nipa be because say be a political season. People frame your answers as a defense. Si nipa be who say double track at the bonnet. Mamin Ka ewo Ghana abako se mu say. Adeɛ baako the most novel policy boa Ghana womasua particularly at the senior high school level was a double track. Now the India makers are say Ghana you need problem with space per se.
Okay.
So we share your enrollment data and kwara onunya kwanya ko school senior high school sir. Speaker over here no ne bia kwara ye post so averagely eco school bia last year was about 550,000. But space is a school me around 650,000. Indicate dim kwala bia e chem kwala bia egu school bia ma ka obenya excess spaces be 100,000 da hokwa a obi anya de enkom na the problem say your bigger problem has nothing to do with space, it has more to do with the choice based system that we do. Into be here no obako school bi say bia were man e wo mikroma sante achem do miabra go Collins e wo mikroma sante achem okọ bia school bi say go state e wo asante achem ana say other schools be a category C, B schools na low subscribe na. But say kwenya bebre ho spaces wo ho. Because nkwara bebre no ma wo for nya dey MPS schools no. Baba school be say Achimota, Prempeh College, Kessben Legom, Wesley Girls no more there. And who say e wa ba peso pa
because no more na moye ne sa na.
No, because say
categorization of the schools na amasa.
No, but one categorization you nim say Wesley Girls say school be members me body. You don't need categorization to.
But how do we say school BS in school? Is it not the same?
No, when
is it not the same quality teachers?
No, the categorization is not in terms of quality. When you talk about the categorization, even you take into consideration the regional balance. So what I say, religion bo ha say school be school bo time edi. Ya till Wesley Girls 18s. Where they are say be any school now 1992 nya dey enyepe. One more students no money at the facilities eka ho. What I say? Sometimes even no more teachers resources ni na eka ho. The quality on the face value Rebecca say bia offend say you can't categorization on the face value bia because say quality. But not necessarily quality alone. There are a lot of factors. But I mean the holistic factors in now comes into the account saying na quality. But they make kind of say uko yi policy be just 1 minute. So uko yi be say double track free where. What indirectly you are saying is first of all double track in the buy a man nkwara say bi omo free nkwara say ni ade nyina atimi nya kwanya call this big schools ukoyi school Prempeh College na fan nkwara 3,000 because of double track it we find 6,000 offer school be say Wesley Girls 4,000 say betimi for 8,000 Presec for 3,000 be for 6,000 because of double track you know atima man nkwara ni nyina it is okay chem say we cancel double tracker is an indirect way say nkora school bia sa category A schools na ni bia ma hiafo manu kobinu say educational apartheid bia ni ho na obi atim kobinu say who ye free ho and only open opportunity to only people who can afford say bia iska for man nko o ka chem say obesi school dan building school dan is not enough unless you have been able to increase the status or raise the status of those schools and they start here no with the STEM schools so nti akora bi ho pepper say ka akwa odine kwa wa nya nko na o ma sa akora na akonya so nko ebia abomo system obede obeko nti enye event sa what I say is a very holistic but one more so won abamu e de mpa bota omachi na mum ye be MPP di so position dia ye nim yesi wiase ni panyina
but that's lawyer Kwesi Kwate na Kwame Appiah say good morning Mr. Speaker. Tell Kwesi Kwate he is ranting too much on the appointment of President Mahama. What is his problem with TT Kate not having appointments?
Titi ana
will be question will be said no Kwame Appiah question
me see Titi Kate no ho me first time me share Richard na me dance me see no kwa coaches na abako no
I remember
okura coaches na de be campaign okura coaches na de be campaign sabe no collection sempre no mo aboka ma ni tiri hu nyina tutu na de ko ache kwa de ka ko se ko twi ka keto bi go fu ho se akoya ye communications 8 years na 8 years be sin ne na akoya o ma bana esi me nwa ya be nyina hyehye be si woni bia godfather bia e o mo se godfather wom Asante regional minister minya amakohene godfather na so den sad because mo hwe ya na godfather the vet na what ase na me modi me si titi ni godfather papa oni obi o lobi ama no and titi ase mo mega titi waye mo bododo hey titi to opposition government one me yepe na ali wa hwe aso aba ka ho wa sabo so na
ali be do but mu hu mo boda mo position
titi dey na sama
who to be very sincere titi Kateno there I've known him for a very long time but ali Bremu na mintie because he attackable integrity on the level of appointment more it's a party for now abreno you are not considering them. I mean some of them for a very long time. I know more year you
Mr. Speaker where the meda was say so mama Konya when you Bema kwasi kwatin kasa manya butura atie de yi ma picking your ma be mi no miensa bi wo nsem odi tu dwa no menim sa tiefu a ne ahwefo a mo tie hwe ya mo tie ya mo nyasa impression see 1.7 million vote difference here nya close to 1.7 Ghana for dudu ya to santene kwoto aba ema NDC no oman so aba ama NDC say yembe create positions sebi positions are emfa ahotobia emma the ordinary Ghanaian taxpayer kwasi kwatin some waka nyina no the tofabo nyina ne se kebeya ka system ministers na John Dramani Mahama ehye hobo no kebianka ompejem
I mean, Gaza go pass
no ne osha otiasment meminti ase no by implication opesebia ye copy former president Nana Danko Akufo-Addo over 100 ministers are oma appointments na presidential staff is there brubruja in their thousands. These appointments Ghana for any enye because most of say positions be wo ho a sebi ye di mo obi kwa etia no ho kwa abra onya adwuma bia na ohwe budget mo make for during I think Nanado earlier government ohwe budget mo de call presidency alone enkrofo aya form a mo ye adwuma of presidency na nya asem kitwa party boys. Enti Ghana for ye who did said no, that is wrong. Obia Sebi only a Jumabia and that Osha some of them were just moving about without doing anything. Minister said former President Nanado a year more Ghana for Bu Anye so mo kan ho sem e kan ye who did say ye bia omo kika ya. Enti mesre kwasi kwatin say Jidia Ghana for Edi MIA Ebosha ye share ye see a bar appointment no ye behwe ayi 60 sa nyina so no na Ghana for ehwe ye eto aba boom 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 MIA and so only in the right position say Obeka President John Dramani Mahama say making more appointment for what? Appointments ahodwa Nana Danko Akufo-Addo ni Dr. Baumia appointment ministers adudu omo yi ye nkrofo creating a lot of position portfolios omo make ye nyina no ekosi Ghana saying dollar no e manage ni saying unemployment rates mo beto no 8.4% omo free so na ekika ko almost 15%. These appointments in fact so ben and the buy creating nyuma ema Ghana for enya be ye. These over 100 ministers are omo one district, one factory. Etimi ema ne ejuma. Almost factories are hodwa. But be on the ground no nankro for factories or masisi including that of Kasapreko for nyina 1D 1F nebo home. Omo manifesto in your manifesto much say it is going to be PPA private public PPA partnership right PPP Sunday kind of good in your manifesto but omukos abonten in their campaign almost simply so any Ghana for kasa almost say Ghana is going to be fully funded by the government in futuro eno mutugu Ghana for any kwasi kwati misrawo
When Professor
And it doesn't lie on your bosom. Say Oberculture John Dramani Mahama say on more people for what? Say you young for what? Now at the end of the day, no. Yes, yeah. Oh no, me. I have no problem if I'm not appointed.
Oh, you have no problem.
I have no problem. Yes. I have no problem. So listen, say you can say you can say, and you'll be bia or ye in this nebia or ye juma dempia no say man appointment.
And that's just I don't care.
And no man now you bet me for more. Now in part do I campaign. Campaign no part do why in this more ye. And ya thousands of people. You expect say President Mahama by force on 30 offices portfolio. Now all these people on for Moncheshe baby now. Now at the end of the day, who is going to pay for all these people who are employed?
The relevant ones.
So the relevant one, no, and this, just say you want crofua, just so much you be a more cosquessia dear to say a ba, nimdia, or move your doso. Okay, say, oh, you mukrampo na. At the end of the day, no, you can't. See. Kakrana ya fo mo no so mo nya adwuma no enna edi ahoden ebeta o machi na ya bo o machi ama adwuma no o maye. In any case, President Mahama nya appointment ni wie yo aka le dodo no enti obi bia o ye NDC ni na don't feel like say you are being neglected. Appointment that dodo na fe na eba I mean, who knows?
Katano.
Yes, you bet me are fixing the baby. It's just not too late. It's not too late.
There were 26-page document to be ministries in the 23, no. Any agencies are going to show more singing appointment.
Yes, sure, of course. And say, Miss Master, you are being my quasi. Yes, sir, no. I mean, some solutions you are giving my no. Me assure say open President Nana Dankwa Akufo no me.
This is you to me.
Or this our position or this our solutions ideas ema no. Say no kosi ye. Ama mu no Ghana for bo anyo so.
Pafutu.
E no mo so bon kofie.
Cuz this album pafutu.
Mon kofie. Embarrassingly Bawumia. She said Bawumia menya NPP de ba edrumre be no ya me mobo. Miss Sumano, especially Oba Bontina, the Electoral Commission chairperson, onye na dwen so be declare results no. I ma Bawumia na kasaba Bontin ebe consider defeat no. I wept. Because Akufo-Addo na yemwa no. Bawumia in one way or the other no be ana owoni own lapses ni ade but he could have been a better president as compared to Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Because President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo no any vision be as or papaya president or the 2 to 3 so mayor president of the Republic of Ghana.
Is this fair?
Demonstration hodwa Akufo-Addo a lead ye ninsema no eka brofo ne policies hodwa ni sloganeerings one district one factory 1 million one constituency $1 million. Look at the slogans.
Oh, this is
a
lot of them were accomplished.
A lot of them. Name
well, some of them were.
No, one constituency $1 million. No, constituency when you say.
Constituency na amba.
German North.
When I'm saying Okobisa Assembly, this is Ikanaba because we are made to understand. Say
yes,
that promise were initiated in projects. Assembly audio project neba. They are priority projects. All the bar near the Sasikani the Ayama.
Well,
you are in this country.
They can beat their head around it and argue. Say, oh no, listen. I make credibility who hear me power. Me metna fi di kesi ya iso Ghana na me
we say 1 million per constituency.
Me say ena dia eba so. Na constituency project dia say is no na mo kan. When we were promising say every district be about $1 million no. Was that the promise? Was that the promise on my project? They promised them one constituency be a DC ni amount $1 million. Wa fire nyoma. Na project they say koso. Aban biya project in every single constituency, every single district. So your question almost says sika no wo hen e na defense omo de buy no but udom so kwa na ntisa. We are moving Ghana's economy from taxation to production. At the end of the day, taxes are who do sign on the car and son of leave office. Omo the taxes emene sa bosheno omo timi ediso.
Now ba free SHS fee.
Remember
this one mama na
we to Ghana public debt 120 billion. Same na ba omianka. Oh, Mahama or Bobo Siandodo. The can send bebre omo free so now your public debt was 767 billion Ghana cedis. And now I know can say ekikako 800 billion Ghana cedis. And so obviously they are not people we can trust. And I'm very convinced beyond reasonable doubt to say Sir John Dramani Mahama ye ne nyoma ye. Ne ministers awo yi omo so mo teme buano e ma ne ye na juma ne said ye se na efata. NPP betting at now opposition in the next 28 years. I'm telling you this. Free SHS. Mene makane bebre on several platforms say free SHS no die e ade nana adodanko akofo oya ade so otime implement ye. Nemum otie President John Dramani Mahama no gradual said ye oye share progressively ke ebeboa no. A whole lot of challenges in the free SHS system. Many of them was the spokesperson. Sometimes some of the questions are ye baby saw mono you no struggle to answer. Hey. In my previous school, Agri Memorial AME Zion Secondary School, now I'm here head boy. Now I'm a Central Regional SRC president. 2 years through the implementation, me call me school Agri Memorial. Agri. When I'm a
okay.
I was the commander in chief in Agri. Now, Mr. Me call home plan B. They say, I'm going to the extent that dining hall and an EBITDA. And we are say and a nebida.
Agri Memorial.
Agri Memorial AME Zion Secondary School.
As a former
school prefect, Agri Memorial. Yes. Me say
time no.
Somewhere around 2018 thereabout. Now so to the said Omako baby akotale. A lot of challenges.
NDC.
Think about Ben and Kamotie John Dramani Mahama na mo ye progressive kakra said you see e-blocks a wodo out the share baby asena kebeboa. Once ye and a lot of problems and at the end of the day no characterizing the policy. It was that's when you are near the 7 year or so most of these parents they were giving their children pocket money provisions or the better so by for because and we are near omodi man krano and idea eswomo. Now background point free SHS now we need 4,000 5,000 6,000 7,000 Ghana cedis depending on the school obano onko. Mr. Speaker, nipa do was saying a bit me anya 5,000. Krabe 2 3. Can you afford? Ye joke say at the end of the month, sign an award as a public servant. So Sir John Dramani Mahama so ba abe resetting the free SHS policy. Abe reviewer. Now or refer to some of these challenges characterizing the policy.
Okay.
Oba be he ayen ye said ye be ya just say enkwala dodo a ye chane your more on daily every year bia mo ba abonte no on betimi abayegu say obi wies free teachers when ya 8 A's me home tuition me fan kra e train your mom go chire enkwala de ofie. It's part of the job me na omo ba ye test your mo free SHS student me 8 A's obi man the common simple math past questions won solve obi to 0%.
Hey, to what?
10%, 20%. Why should that happen? Obianem ni krom has said and a free SHS student questions no ye boa omo the results they get.
No, Ali,
no, listen.
Why the boy?
No, listen.
I mean, those are some of the things you cannot substantiate.
I don't have any evidence to prove, so I retract and withdraw. But our listener viewers, they understand what I'm talking about. Because Accra, 8A, 7A, 6A. Not simple mathematics question, bro. For simple construction, crampon to me now. Not just no pass here. Some of the lecturers, KNWS, one of my call it's one of my lecturers. I say, hey, no more not say more than I'm about school, Maha. Just say, Omo Nadia, just a bibia troca, lecture, no crowd, lecture, cromontiasie. Omo Bonye. This resetting, you better call on, you better do musoko, you better be asa de say, na a fatasi de
be watching how I'm resetting, na mama, Kwalaya, when I was yes or more born you, Oma Bompa, made I say, 9:15. Mamen kind will messages in the hour day about that miracle from Paul. So we say good morning, Mr. Speaker. From Paul from Kumasi. Elections are over and the NDC is still making references. In the history of Ghana, no political party has spent more than 8 years. So they should stop being overjoyed and concentrate on what Ghanaians expect of them. Thank you, from Paul, for a message out there about Anope. We say good morning, Speaker. Please be fair. At Obuasi, tell me what is the 1 million one district constituency has done for Obuasi. Okay, thank you for a message. Mohammed Ewo Ejura, I say John Mahama has no excuse to fail with the youth. Trump want to deport Africans, the same country we eager to go. So we remain in our country and we expect the government to sit up and do the right things for the Ghanaian youth. NPP, never again. Thank you for a message, Eric Kwekubu do Patriotic Voices. It seems now some Ghanaians are happy. Propaganda that brought John Dramani Mahama and the NDC into power will expose them when things are getting tough. Because we warned Ghanaians about this happenings and yet they didn't listen. They will keep quiet. They should keep quiet and suffer. That is what you mean to say. Thank you. We say good morning, Mr. Speaker. Ask the NDC man if 24-hour economy is going to be operationalized. How is it going to help the people of Oti region as farmers? Daniel Ediwe Abba Pesa. Thank you for a message, Anope. We say, good morning, Speaker. Please ask Mr. Kwesi Kwarteng if his school days aggregate from 30 to 52 were accepted in schools. Why don't we talk about quality? Why don't we talk about quality for now? Crispat Ede Abba. Crispat, thank you for a message, This one says that, please, I'm poor, studying at KNUST campus. Please help me with some... Paul, Mate. We say good morning, Mr. Speaker. I'm Seidu. Mr. Speaker, good morning. I'm watching you live from Ashanti Mampong. Wise talk by Mr. Kwesi Kwarteng. Please tell Mr. Eli to follow Mr. Kwarteng so that they lecture him well. Thank you for a message. Ata Japan, Ede Aba, Japan Dankwa. Dichem Sukumase na do if Mr. Speaker, free SHS is one of the best interventions, but its implementation was flawed. I pray President Mahama succeeds. Yes, the appointment should be blended with experienced hands. Good morning and say good morning to your team. Thank you. Team no ate. I'm Aaron from a year before so Asemo Ghana. The politics will kill us. My name is Gloria Ado. I want to know if the people in your studio actually know what is happening in this country. There is a lot of difficulties in the country and Ali must keep quiet for his government to fix it. Thank you for a message. 48 after 8. Now, Brebu Mami, Maakye to say?
Yeah, Kwame Jusu.
Give me a buckle.
Nyamia Adomarakwa. Kwame.
Yes.
Yes, here Titia Betia and the channel. Abaya Abbey. He just has 4 years. And Kofwa Bre, ye be appointing Kofwa near the two fees. O check a crab buying a baby beer. Masanya Kekahon. See a be appointed. Aye, Kekahon. Now if you say at the end of Doswan, Kwame Kekahon. Because baby at the end of Koro. Why near careful? Why be your say and net no, I'll be 1 4 years naba. de be kwa tia
the more than so na nkrofo agi ni
and nkrofo so age ni ade na ayi ma men ka sem che honorable Ali honorable you are a very good communicator, but you see you made a statement for electoral commission.
Kessben.
What say Tama Dr. Baumia ebeji ade no tuma abra na electoral commissioner empese obi declare results no. In fact, aya mesrel with you respectfully. Aya mumma yenya botre. Si anya careful, I would be inciting innocent people to the public. I be creating problem amai. Time now Dr. Baumia ebe aya admission. Say wajiatu no. Na ya to abano it wasn't even up to 1 day. Uye calculation time you close to. You fair say post now 5 o'clock no. Na a new 1 day. They make what I say because 1 day should be 5 o'clock of that Sunday now baby key that
24 hours.
24 hours. And Sunday ni 10 p.m. 10 a.m. and no baby key that admission. So no baby and you and I will say since we are not doing biometric voting by biometric register since the year 2000 and that's 1992 electoral commissioner beyond for even 2 days and your declaration not even 2 days only 3 days obia 3 days. The last time they tried 1 day the 2020 election when Madam Jean Mensa said that Obe declare Abani in 24 hours. So they went to the IPAD meeting. And the SPP was represented by Mr. Joe Anoche. You understand? And almost see Joe Anoche now Abanintino. The political party see Joe Anoche now Abanintino. Because that guy now is a IT expert, whatever. They thought that it be obetimi are manipulating. Yes. And I see pano. Let us go back to our manual. And so the manual, we should understand. Say it takes them 3 days. Even the time Dr. Baumia make that admission, the EC website and the EC for Nankasa, one more satisfied a year no more was not even up to 7 years a constituency. So aya mumie nyabotre, you are fantastic communicator. So what did San Norman Beke Kanwa? It will take something or something out of how you communicate, the shine out of your communication. And a lot of people watch you and they love you. Let us watch that. Now, Kwame, Mr. We interview be. What bizarre question be ama? When you say Obeshe we are commission media and then the next commission. Kwame, Nakaja are your uniform. Kwame,
Yes.
Betty Newsroom.
Yeah.
KTV. Ura Vitus Azim. What bizarre be? I change the narrative. I dribia favama issue. I'm not in support of the allegation.
Okay.
Because that guy there, Memakase, we need to check this guy. But Kwame, you asked a question, say, the chief of staff, per the interview that Manas Azuri had with Joe Seusu, the chief of staff, or say chief of staff, now sometimes, or this Gabriel, and I'll say, where do the chief of staff
Get the money?
Did the chief of staff get the money? Is it the government coffers and also no one kasa
The
personal money? Come in. I see some adribi, and I have to say this. Verbal allegation. Adena appointment committee in the frame. Sisi a metone no maybe ba mitrim kwa mentiase. Jasper make you. We have a privileges committee in parliament.
I will hear some of these things.
Yes, I'm going to read their mandate. Or say the Committee of Privileges and Immunities, chaired by the first deputy speaker, consists of a ranking member, a vice chairperson, a deputy ranking member, and no more than 13 other members. Or say this committee is responsible for investigating any complaints of contempt of parliament or breaches of privilege formally referred to it by the House. Now, verbal issue now about Kwame.
Yeah.
It was allegation. And yet in short to say Black Rasta Dianwa, you didn't about privileges committee, no, I'm sorry. Privileges committee, no. It is not a feud or a dirty remarks. Ura and Pemdako, Miami boss, GBC, Willie D. Against the parliament, against KT Hammond. You didn't call privileges committee or corporation. This is an allegation. It will be making allegation. Said the appointment committee, Eje Briber, Kwame. This allegation, against the parliament.
Kessben.
Just not making you. It is not only the appointment committee, but the parliament. So
the committee works on behalf of the parliament.
Yes, works on behalf of the parliament. So in this case, it is the Vamamo against parliament. The entire parliament. Privileges committee member, appointment committee member. So a committee should have been set to investigate this.
As our committee is very different from the standing committees in our parliament.
Yes, because I am Vamamo against parliament.
But I want to investigate you more.
Good. And nothing about Kaise. Matinabi du tama Boachaja ku issue the buy.
Yeah.
Matinabi du kacha na Akufo-Addo said that no any special prosecutor. So the Matinabi du told another Dan Akufo-Addo say, so was set up commission of inquiry. The commission of inquiry will help him near the independent investigation body and investigating issue. Because say appointment committee ni privileges committee o set up a committee or parliament some investigate a parliamentarians na investigate am and a committee so yare reshuffle obi ni baby obakọ dabi dey make what say so they will be shielding each other. So Argentina obi making this allegation, you see, it looks like the guy was taken there to kill his spirit. He was taken there to kill the conviction of evidence. Sana Kwame Minihuno. Because when your allegation, as a second special prosecutor.
No, him.
Yes, because this is the mandate of special prosecutor, Kwame. Quickly, your dodges. The mandate of special prosecutor. What kind of point 3 now? Was say investigation and prosecution of cases of alleged and suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses involving public officers, politically exposed persons, and persons in the private sector, blah, 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 blah. Politically exposed persons. It is what you make this allegation, we say, and such a stop parliament, say you cannot call this guy. Because allegation has made against you. You don't investigate that allegation. You don't allow the person, powers, the boxing. Was I have heard people are making allegations about me. If I catch those alligators, you understand? So those alligator, you don't call the alligator to appear before Nipana allergy adena against him, to investigate. Can I don't get it?
Okay.
Upon everything, me see the special prosecutor as I saw investigating this case because John say we should have na waka no. What say? Yedi sika. Nemom ye wia and the chief of staff send this sika de maye. Na me the highest amenya 2,000. Kwame, nobody is interested in the sum of money that you got. Nobody is interested in that. What we are interested in is the practice.
Okay.
You get me?
Yeah.
Everything a question now be say papa no azim na atwema atwere di abaso. Yet the practice. As I say, uji sikadi fu obi wo say ya appointment.
Yes, the mandate no crowd of the chief of staff. So this Kabeka Koma committee no crowd.
On what grounds?
Because parliament no want a budget.
Yeah.
And the parliament in say taking care of standing committees Juma.
Yeah.
So why does the chief of staff come
chief
in?
of staff or a bank?
Or your bank.
What dispatch is
Or dispatch, yes, or your bank. In any case, appointment committee yes more bonus allowance. That's an allowance.
Sitting
allowance. Because tema parliament yes parliament pono. Parliament pono. South 5 omuda so ye adwuma. Enutina dey be a parliament betra se amana kobo 8 p.m. any year to wait to pass a bill. they get allowance.
Okay. But I say, Nana Messa about should be my memory because my mentio on former war issues in the allegation of bribe taking and all of that when the committee or Moye, you must say, my mentio memory also because
Kessben.
I think just before a Vomao, and now just a quick response on when you're in Komobi or Kai, just maybe 1 minute pay. Let me say Nanado. No vision be also a president. Many shall say fair to him. Unse the Biabacasa Bank in a Jana Bede, a betche. Bra president and Chroma Free Sono. Yamamuha, a movie the name ye. Na Mekai Aposem Okaya, when you read history, you see Bukroko Bubu in a statue, and there was huge jubilation in the country. Uncle Forger said, na Sebu, your bones am required a feeling so then. And then Nkrumah is hailed as arguably the best president this country has ever had. Of course, you compare data and the facts and based on context, people may have their own opinion. But country be our the pania, I Jini Tum say on a penia or Beji independence here. I mean, the list can go on, but the Mama the Fourth Republic cry. May President Rawlings, Sabre was Sante at Chemina Santa Region. Yet this will be NDC in Ukraine. Say, hey, man, we NDC in Bin and the Kai Tremono, Obey Grand. I am so. I chill cried, the picture was painted as President Ronald Sukradi. And of course, I mean, it's a statement of facts what they could about power. And you name Mr. Papanadi, oh, yeah, your Bamaya to CCA. Yes, we am quite obey about Nipper to Kuni, the same who's echoing within you. This are by a chi big yini, you move cry, you so Sabre, or as President Kufad more first time and money, I don't know. You see, I could for the but you run is a 2 antis in the beginning. Oh, but Unini and growth comes in a do stage, be on some that year. President Rawlings was, I mean, there were, he has his own ups and downs, fulfillments and disappointment. But you need to say, in terms of political stability, they also be a day. Oba President Mahama ya, Namnu ya 2016 Pamoni, and somebody can follow. Oh, about 32 years, Mr. President Mama Kwano Lusu Leshina. The following the success a call Mensia 2 can once and said, now no obedient TV trace what they almost before you come there trouble here. I mean, became a national issue. Until young tree was na the Akayana de more home by. So, Obia free a by my cancer, but time reveals and time heals. And now the problem is a one Ghana. Nano na me TV station back when near Boko to Kanu Bay coup. Ziga Baja is on adequate of Yakunu, almost on my heading. The economy and bad governance. Mebwa, a champion almost the economy and bad governance. Mebwa, yeah. Who say in economy and bad governance? I buy a quarter in economy and bad governance. 2016 the same thing. Entry of Wasi. Now, and said, let's be very measured on that. On the tab, me says Ziga responded to you. Dear Mumma actually, and they ya call her, ya call Wasi, ya kwajiwe. Me catch our speaker, me catch our straight say. Said the Tawa Mia defeat now to Muntem, and a train so said the President Mahama, yeah, in 2020, I buy a toy, busy ne, on to me congratulated the MPP and living a Kufadwa. And yes, a train so I be seen now. The memo ye, command say. The memo ye, I want me initially, I sided with the School of Thought, a party for the modern say, Dr. Bamia's earlier concession statement in a weekend party. Because most of the MPs were not protected again. Yeah. But at the long run, the Ajatum said, no, Papa, no, so Anyasa said, and we are assuring you, say, going forward, the election in this country is never going to be the same. You can't say, Basa. But the Befam quite so to stand for our right and defend every Abatobia because of none of the Amuya Intino. Yahoo say, we cannot entirely or solely rely on the state institutions. And our responsibility in law, say, be protected there about also the Ebeye because of what you've demonstrated. And say to her, you can't. We should be very mindful of that. This, I mean, this year, on quick one on free senior high school. Speaker, let me give you an analogy. Who feed him 1.3 million and not pay you number. Me speaker, and no, me could do for you not the answer. Yeah. Now me will be could be a safe fridge mu a bro 1 week. And I'm ye, and I'm a tree mako. Me could still be a safe fridge, no one says, sir. And I'm a tree mako car when I'm hitting Kumana, me goes and numero. Me do you in a Mamma Madrid match. We usually am after 12 because we are making readings in them so okay. Between 4 or 5 hours interval, they be and digestion bit my day. I take a place mother. Wouldn't say said and a crona no. So the coma aquara you won't cantonment her. Okay, what kind of food are you giving to me? What is that? Because no when I make a show. Oh, I said, Pana make a say, and me didn't you mean, and me de her. Messi we are me kokota me de ball life for sikwate no me say wo de say aduane ne be makora bi ono ye wo ne cantonment ha ne papa wo fie o isle go ha ono wache moto be ka say aduane ne papa aduane 18 food items beans eboro enkate the same food items are what you send to the schools. It's not different say bi aduane no ade and your mama edukra say metros edukra so mo aduane you may have taste variations but moment to your boss. The picture we are painting say as a bambi buy or no dear and no pay we numere no I na say adwemoni e woni tin nyina hanso obaye nuane fo amankwara momentu ye boase na maba the problems are wo no eso timunya botre on quality what you say nkwara try exams no munya grade 6 and I grade 8 Ministry of Education ya kwachiro ma for what purpose? Let me say this. Say near percent try nkwara to make a case say free system nkwara me pass I don't 100% in pass ne ye may be passing be freely. Onipa bi so busa so bi say na question bi na obusa about adentina ye pass will be equal into the senior house be near 50 near there. I don't think say nkufo near 50, but the point is say this is ye taught as a government. Oh boy mindful, oh peja mindful. You have two options. The first option is say obe hide under a certain cut-off point because only infrastructure me boy. And the double tracking come ya about. Yeah. Only infrastructure until also akora na grade 20 kra won't even go school. Usually first almost 28 me boy. And the 22 money those who wa bon trewu. Wan sua de ma won go school. Nti wa bon. Na makora na tell fini wasting the life. Yes say. So we pass it either English or maths. We fail English and maths the foundation of the schools. Okay. Education. And the sa cultural BEC near the ABU. But pass English and maths. It's say yeah, abiding to me performing the responsibility now, opportunity to be in classroom because we won't see that. Why don't you give you an opportunity to justify yourself? What they call so what could do university input, not the weak grace in the choir. Instead of saying English now there, I didn't invest in creating English 101 now. Not 5 years ago, I didn't know school in the school. Rather than say we sakura and him Ghana and yakura and him. No was sakura and life is same. Onya grade 20 and not 25 in 2 man in course. On course into my day. Onye there or my name nana brab onye there say. Sakura krona I mean you speaker. Or tell you Pemudu America. Onya grade 100 kra America Bible say let's give a crowd support system no me. Ala crowd be surgeon na. Yes sakura na magana ha. Sakura be footballer and no be coach yes sakura na magana no finance team. So why can't we do that to ourselves? And I think that is a response to that. Now I back Avoma one. I mean he's not my fan. Even though I see a separate as some kind. The reason why I say I'm a fan is say, maybe na court premises or. Na me ura court wa me de me twemwa na sabe we PF court no ni memo bi ahia. Asem kind no enya asem make me repeating already so. But them say na sabe ne try am on very offensive language referring to the judge and the court. And as we say nipa kakra bi o kan say asem bi a me repeat already so. Me free hono ebu amede woman no esote and I've never been interested in this matter because the reason they say if not for anything at all a lawyer ni that's what I'm told until the integrity of the court no you are one person also to me there you protect it. Secondly so me hu no Supreme Court premises no nam no na abamua mienu ekura camera ye dey edinachi until baby obegina bia na onmu twa no and I'm can people be very intentional about a lot of these things. Let us say ni dwumadi a wo die nyina ye or ye ne nipa hu ni aka na asem say kind of a populist attention seeker bi na wonim I say one mo this if I say trap mama na say tenten was starting voma you see nobody is saying that you cannot conduct your struggles there be we are mam wodwuma we sigalam say ho say ye opa wan kankan konongonyo na mkutwa konongo bai I don't say we ta bai no. You can conduct your struggles, but here can say it should be in the high plane of dignity and respect to everyone. No, can we face the country? No, Marco Brocky rules. Yeah, I for Kwame and then no, the Abamusum. Are they in the minimum appointment and open there? Open with the say a you a jump. Professor Jumpo. I no crazy. I'm confirm media houses now report, but you see, say no crown. I'm calling on Professor Jampo to apologize to Ghanaians and the Utah community. untimi use you tag she you target e ma wonya wa adwen say you tag ade na wo ye o fight for you tag nanka e de ntina ti asemo Western of Galamsey ko so Western of now to University of Ghana so one oko strike one more you sue all these institutions as Galamsey ko so Western of the University of Ghana teacher deka oka ho asema cafe o strike a o ntine nkwade no mo ye but mu you sue sadie we ya ye dede enye na akwaje appointed e from ba Professor Kubi ho ahoni ono so mo de ko tourism de ono so anya bi ono so en ho economics wa ahoni eno na me ka say say Professor Jampo no mu ano mo eyo mo neutral mponya ba bia who are you out here who deserve me it's not a matter of so creative be ebi wo ho nti who are you out here who deserve you so dia me kiti kata na asem kwa bobo ono so deserve me but I mean
me say you consider me baby I can paper Ghana Mortuary Agency
I heard you so be an cramp ho
obi an
and I also a pharmacy adro ye de nipa beto
adro na me ne lawyer ba ko di nkomo o se ompe na me so nim ba bi asika wo na onim ba bi so abe critic
I say ewo de obese we dey ya e kan ipa ho and we dey ya honso sem bebre but me the Ivoma Wodon Musi I think say beyond or no the personality and the remarks that he made. This is not the first time I had to say. Okay, former speaker, current speaker, then he was even a member of parliament, Babin. Yeah. Honorable right, Honorable Babin. I'll make his statement. Say I know more muska. A friend say I think say Joe Wusu had made similar statement before.
He even made that statement again.
Yes, and I mean, boy, so Vama so abeka. Now, yeah, no, say age more. Public service on there. Maybe service on institution be which name I shall not mention. But I was reliably informed. That's how I so mo pass up no budget to crana. I say mo be there. I can't hold committee. No. I mean, it's not a statement of fact because I will not be able to adduce evidence to it. But these are speculations. I say bibi an waka papa enye grad na musie bia so ni wa e ba kwa bia na ja kakra ye dey e sase nti these concerns, if we are talking about a broader conversation about fighting corruption no money there enya there was a man no. For instance, Mr. Maakye make a statement on soldier say o ka say offend say o mane bo amano Dr. Mane bo amano say oba the protocol no ade. You see, on the face value no I say a try because it's something that we are all used to, but subsequently no, it's a system we should not encourage. I don't think it's people should sit in parliament and share who becomes a military officer. May we because gradually you're working in police office and police institution, fire service you're working. The military, the air force, and also the political apparatus could move up and then I don't know.
But I say, my main kind Krobia message or they are sending me, Deputy Director of Communication of the NPP. I say, good morning, Speaker. I kindly tell your guest, Ali, to show some respect to the free SHS graduates. They deserve to be respected. How can he describe these young men and women in that distasteful manner? Ali and his NDC should note that you can use propaganda to win political power, but you cannot use propaganda to govern a nation. Kudos to Kwesi Kwarteng Esquire for his insightful presentation. Krobia, thank you. Anope yadasi papa se utie yen. Oze.
Minyano no Krobia. Minyano no mechana pa. Oya doctor o.
O Krobia doctor.
Na unim. Oya doctor, honorary doctor. Doctor.
Honorary doctor.
Wo jimoni din sa.
Doctor. I did so give you a crumb. I'm celebrating. This one says that, Speaker, I have followed you for a very long time and love you as well, of which you know. So please, why are you showing your wickedness even though you don't own me? I don't get you. Okay. We say, good morning, Speaker. I know students who can't read, yet they have completed senior high school with A's in English. Students with A's in mathematics, but cannot do simple algebra equations. That one is true, but people find it difficult to accept the truth. Teacher knows what I am saying. Good morning to you and your team. Thank you for a message. I say, please, I used my wife's Ghana card to register my Momo. Questions. Some messages here. Modibahe. I say, who is the best between Dr. Nkrumah and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo? One who has given free education to a quarter of the population and one who has given free education to the whole country. I have distinction pass, and here I am with red marks. To my grave, I mark 70%. Odu. Tabri, you sent in that one. Thank you for a message. Ozzy, good morning, please. I want you to ask that man that why is the NDC members always saying bad things about the free SHS, yet they won't cancel it. Stephen Sam is sending me this one. So please, the NDC said they would do 24-hour economy, but they failed to even pay the YEA people. Why? Ask the NDC man for me. Thank you. This one is from Jones Mansuton to Kromnadu Airbus. Speaker, God Almighty punished NPP because of Ghanaians' anger. John Dramani Mahama is back to power. The people were angry and they voted against the poor governance they exhibited. John Dramani Mahama will fix the problems. Thank you. Good morning, Speaker. I'm Andrew from Takwa. Please tell Ali that they have no excuse to fail the good people of Ghana. They should focus on their policies and stop trying to review the existing policies. Thank you for your message. This one says, good morning. Please tell the NDC guests not to make any argument and claims without substantive evidence. Safo Edwefri Elubo Anna Ebaye. Good morning, Speaker. It is necessary for senior high school students to pass. Still, please, we need free education. I'm Veronica. Okay, thank you for your message, Vero. What the man is saying is very true. Most free SHS students are not intelligent at all, but they manage to get A's. What is Kwesi Kwarteng talking about? He should tell us how they manage for the student to pass. Good morning, Speaker. It's true these days, so-called free SHS senior high school students are not good at all. It is an evidence of their performance in the universities. Thank you. This one says that we voted for the NDC. Why they complain? Reset and complete the promises you gave us. Thank you for your message. A lot of messages. And Mode Abando. Good morning, Speaker. Please, if I may know, your guest, Kwesi Kwarteng, is the same Kwesi Kwarteng, former PRO for the Ministry of Education. Yes, you are right. He's the same person who is in the studio, Anope. And those are some of the messages. Ali, you wrap it up, but remember also on the Voma War and then Parliament issues, not Mintio and Sana.
Yeah, quickly, before me back on, Maminfa Sima Nami and Cap appointment here, John Dramani Mahama appoint. I think say many Kwesi Kwarteng had a problem. Say Yama Professor Jampo an appointment.
Fine. Confirmed.
Yes, as I sit here,
from the look of things,
as I sit here, I cannot actually confirm that.
Oh, but Professor Jampo is not bad.
Yeah, but even if he's appointed, what's wrong with that? What's wrong? Is it not
you need a union government, right?
Yeah, he's a Ghanaian.
He's an NDC.
He's a concerned Ghanaian.
He's NDC.
When you look at some of the statements, an argument, and a line of arguments are a very objective person. Now, so NDC wa bemo Professor Jampo, he can't send baby to John Mahama. Go and Google some of the things he said against President John Dramani Mahama
in 2016.
Yes, you can Google. You get a lot. Compare the two. So it's obvious. Say government is inclusive government. And that's a beer or political affiliation. So far, you know, so far, you know, be our MPP more Sabi, Yamano position. Kobeti mi abua magana atumpon. Just ankema MPP ni appointment.
Kwesi Kwarteng na wa hey.
Well, Kwesi Kwarteng, or you good, but propaganda or you in the education sector. And what is the problem? So propaganda. We can use that to reset. Yet to me, you and reset it, on my Ghana. Until how not come in there, I'll protest an appointment because of propaganda. Well, you're good, naturally, a very good person. My follow natural. Coming to the Voma issue, you see, publication about Bontini the original publication, which was authored by Voma himself, ena de obi so ede propaganda pesti propaganda de no ena parliament ani eye den ekoso because eno na a trend ye eno eka say he was emphatic say appointment committees no edge bribe na chair no crampon was say or making him available for oral to investigate. That was a propaganda publication. But I was surprised that a whole parliament statement be say you don't have means and ways mobetimi ahwe confirm say bia asama aba bonteno eye no kre anase enye no kre. I think we are lacking in that space because over here there was this publication somewhere around 2018. Almost all the media houses in Ghana are PK, including this particular media house. MyJoyOnline.com, PeaceFMOnline.com, UT, almost every station talked about it, but that was fake news. Nipakro chair a sad story no edit to the Facebook page near friend John Kwadwo Stevens. Or said Nana Akufo-Addo is the best president in Africa. That story was faked. The Ochire sad story no, I was just behind him KNUST. And near friend John Kwadwo Stevens. Or say over the yes for na or your third in the whole world. Okagula, President Akufo-Addo is the best president in Africa. Anyone can go. Or you saw leaders of tomorrow. Ukogogo sa, statements now. Leaders of tomorrow is not organization be a SST. And other, think tanks be to say Canadian based think tanks, World Vision Forum. No, didn't exist.
Kessben.
But Opia so mu emani be de ma NPP communicators. You saw the propaganda at the one wall mu ho. Maybe post na na do text messages. Congratulating no. Oh, some of the communicators okay kind. Say the argument they cost one over statement and Crawford making the idea. They congratulated the president. Oh no, on now award BL and so and the book who did it. We are lacking in that space. So publication be about I was see a domo soko na ye home investigation who say a idea AC and as say sa publication by na mo gina so na kede wo mu a enka onfa ne ho ni can they will not just ask him to apologize and go away. Can they will deal mercilessly with him? But I'm so Okoye clarify said that particular statement a man fin honjeno. And unti I mean he's not till now we be simple Emma asemno to HI. But I'll actually advise lawyer Vomawo me oyobia me pena sempa because on my Ghana for ete and you might be say Abrana Akufo-Addo ye president of the Republic of Ghana. Obiebie Ghana for any when you might be home. And no Emma ma penasem. But John Dramani ma mom way I mean on to no book akra Emma. But see the problem is that Nasa fini ashas ye. Or na bibi mponka. Oh na bibi nka. Onya abibian ho benya ka o ye hwe o say
boys e ko hwehwe obaso onya
na boys
disturbance e ko so onya
disturbance e ko so oboase de na ko chere bae. I mean, we just started administration. Maybe a basic Ghana Biano will be attributed to the previous administration.
Our wing galam say wonya, atiwa galam say wonya henka. Everybody will be with you.
Well, the American Nyane say, so about 2 months after no. Ononso oye den okoho ekoyi no ho ano see ye be ra minority chief with there na ye ra honom metimi ra honom with my remaining time na akano so minority leader anodompre mesre no the woman here no antwa yi no one will be here to defend the woman nemom Ononso onkin kanechi do tamana President Mahama former president no otimi ko gina TV national television so e ka kire Ghana fo nyina say President Nana Akufo President Mahama former President Mahama case to Ghana obia bonechi so ma bonten wo mepa John Mahama chow o said that nya dia obepa na chow. Member of Parliament.
So are you by this justifying the?
I am not justifying that. I am not. But I'm also asking him on that same score. Say, woman, no bad boy, Crampo be apologize here. We are also challenging him to also come and apologize.
Okay. Very well, that's it. Because just about 1 minute now, wrap you up now, young quiet.
Kessben.
I think say we don't want some maybe say papa friends boy vomawa so when you know
very good and I don't know my wedding.
Oh, I can't so better said that.
No, I don't like him
because of statement you are making in the past.
I don't like him but I mean most important thing is whichever is a call for us to deepen our fight against corruption. And it doesn't matter baby we fra baby we say ade bia ni hwa sebio eje bia ni hwa enwuse bia ni hwa ehye ejanya de enhyase nti wono mo broadly ni yenhwe na ye ka ho asemu yi said the ya ochene bi no the whole concept about the perception of corruption so also people have about mkofo no more titu parliament no at least beba from kakra but
and Everton no it is expected so could to be more very interesting to watch Sam George will be there I'm just at 9 o'clock here
and the veteran is all the veteran now many my main fa we see mama na mo friend mama hardcastle no
yes
so no mama you could we are telling another pray me we see sometimes me position in matters like this a little bit of wisdom and modesty can solve all this thing. I would take a credit answer. Now we and some more can how na do some even your party's position has been said, oh, parliament there is not really about don't pray, but it's about the institution of parliament.
Yeah.
Me nim dear a little bit makachemi. Me who say even a tweet or a post of an apology can still make a sweat show. And look at you. Oh,
the speaker has said so. Be more money fair hearing.
No, just say my man and Kasa. Oh, say no me bo kwa yentwimi bro. Oh, no me bo yentwimi bro. You see, sometimes you have to look at the mood of the nation. Even the mood of the nation that are not for you. Obi ehun sa di e course ni nyina hwe video. Me say me na me ye na lawyer. Before cry be share speaker no. This is what I would have advised. Oh, just go on Facebook or Twitter, any platform. Adia is see, you know, maybe the people have not had the opportunity to review all in its entirety. But Mr. Dompre, I take no offense. I withdraw and apologize accordingly. Not only to Mr. Dompre, but also to the Parliament of Ghana. Any microphobia, it be a by me conduct, no, or no more any man yard so who else to see. We ebekum. But you see, when the pride goes up and I said the pride becomes higher, the mighty falls. Pride in the kosora. What do you stand to lose? Say, oh, up to now, nearly 2 days, as we see.
Yeah.
What they say, what can't answer?
Oh, but I'm told say we call another officer company.
One of him is a report. Yes, my AK.
Oh, no, I can't confirm. I don't confirm.
Oh, okay, that's fine. But yeah, but I'm saying, say, at least they also the public needs some certain form of. To say me make can say, we are in the public light. You don't profit that we did in a demo.
Yeah.
Abontina did in a tem. Then I on the floor of Parliament. And they what was what or letterhead me boy. In 20 minutes, one line letterhead they say, oh, me say anything. Anything. Oh, the and I who said this one, and this is for me brand also who not just by our statement. Also, my many defending home. And I'm saying, hey, you're 2 about 9. Where we need more back on anu ya. And I'll be a defending who. Now, come be a defending who came back.
Okay.
Huh?
Was it me that's it? I'm ponko. Nah, yeah, was it great? Thank you. Ali Ibrahim, you're a member of the NDC. Ali, thank you very much for your time with us. I don't pay lawyer because you quite a member of the NPP. I don't pay one more adjoining for the discussion. Mami try me home. Social industry for us, Papa, na I don't pay Chocho Adaroma. One more aso yemu krokra yemu yepa. Chocho product egumu ahodo bebre na eye papa e wo dwaman so enti anopei wo chefa wom abofra ne de wom oba ne de wom bacho wo your bar use chocho shampoo ne conditioner and afi hair food na wo the base no aka ho we eye full combo